Hey, what's up? It is Thriving Thursday. I am so excited that you are here with me and Gucci. Hey, Gucci is our special guest for today.
Hello.
Well, his real name is Gustavo, but everyone knows him as Gucci the rapper.
Yeah, no, I'm not.
I'm just kidding.
I ain't a rapper. I can't rap to save my life.
But a lot of people say that like Gucci, like it sounds like a rapper's name. So
yeah, I mean, to be fair,
wait,
it is a rapper's name.
Where does that nickname even come from?
It's a good question. I don't even know.
Because literally, I met you and they introduced you as Gucci, and I was like, "Oh,
Yeah.
his name's Gucci. That's weird, but okay."
So, it started in high school, I would say, because I used to hang out with my friend named Byron, who's actually right now he's in the Navy. He's in Japan somewhere. So, love you, Byron. Miss you. Hope you're safe. But we would always hang out together, and this one girl from choir, she was like, y'all two are always together. And then she was like, also, like, Gustavo's too long. Like, you need something shorter. And I was like, she's like, what's your other nicknames? I was like, Gustavo. She's like, anybody call you Gus? I was like, don't call me that. I was like, that's my dad. I was like, everybody knows my dad is Gus. But so I didn't really like it back then. But now I do get called Gus now. But so she was like, you know what? She's like, I'm going to call you Gucci and Byron Maine, because y'all are always together, and together y'all be Gucci Mane. And I was like, bruh. I was like, nah. I was like, that's not gonna stick. And it sticked. I don't even know.
Oh my God.
And then, at church, they were like, do you have any nicknames? I was like, at school, some people call me Gucci, and then Gucci was born, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, because like literally when I met you, like you were introduced to me as Gucci. It's like I've only known you for Gucci, and then like I was like, does he have like a name? Like, is that? And then they told me like your name was Gustavo, and I was like, what? What? Gucci?
Yeah.
Gustavo? Like what?
Yeah, I don't know where's the resemblance. I guess the only resemblance is the G. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Nice background.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's Gucci. And that's it. No, I'm just kidding. So we're barely getting started. So Gucci, I met him probably, has it been 2 years or 1 year?
I think it's been,
Has
I
it
would say
been
3 almost, no?
Well, because we played together.
Yeah.
That was around the first time I met you, and that was in August of 2021.
Yes, I want to say yes. Yeah.
August. I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know. But I think I've known you for like 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, around there. And I met Gucci because we were gonna play together at a church's like it wasn't a conference, but it was like a worship event.
It was.
that
They were having
have
like
it every year.
Yeah. It was. We're talking about the one over there in what's his Pastor
Nate.
Pastor Nate, right?
Nate.
Yeah. That
Shout
event.
out Pastor Nate.
Shout out Pastor Nate. Yeah.
Shout out Leo. Shout out
Leo. But yeah, that was the event, and he was having some sort of like, he wanted different types of churches together to kind of introduce, like, I guess, like different backgrounds, different cultures, different styles, I guess. So it was really fun. But yeah, that was like one of the
Yeah, and I met you because of our practices for it.
Yeah.
Because I had just started talking to like Ricky, and like getting to know his family and all that stuff. And then it was me, you, Carla, Puff, and Ricky.
Yep.
And we played together, and that was fun. But yeah, that's how I met Gucci.
Yep.
Super sweet friend, awesome guy. He is single, but he's not looking, so don't slide into his DMs after this.
Yeah.
And that's a little bit of background about Gucci. So what got you into music? What got you started into playing? Because I know that you do have a passion for music, and that's kind of how I met you too.
Yeah. Well, music has always been something I've always loved. I think ever since I was a kid, I've always loved music. As a kid, I used to listen to a lot of old school songs because of my dad. My dad loved old, like 80s, 70s songs. Also, my grandma, she loved like Elvis Presley, Johnny Cash, Frank Sinatra, like a lot of old school stuff. And I would just listen to that stuff, and that's kind of the music I kind of fell in love with. And well, like I remember there's memories like of me. My grandma would call because she lives in like El Salvador, so she'd call and she'd be like, "Mijo," she's like, "Sing me a song, like sing me an Elvis Presley song," and I would sing to her over the phone and just stuff like that, like little stuff. I've always loved music. Like I used to dance a lot.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, Gucci danced, and I would say I killed it. Others would say otherwise, but I thought I killed it.
Like their perspective doesn't matter.
Yeah, yeah.
Mine.
I know I killed it. I know I killed it for sure. Everybody had their phones out. Well, no, there weren't phones back then. They had the cameras out.
Hey,
But
let's go.
so yeah, I've always loved music. I guess when I truly like actually started like doing instruments was probably like around age 9 or 10. So my dad had bought me a piano when I was like 7, and I was like, "Yay, I got a piano." I used it for like a week, didn't touch it for like 2 years. And one day, I remember we were just chilling at the apartment, me and my dad, and I was like, "Dad, like, can you take me to?" I was like, "Can you take me to Jumpy Land? Like, I want to go to Jumpy Land." And then he's like, "No, you always want to go out." Blah blah blah. He's like, "Look," he's like, "I bought you a piano, and it's just collecting dust. Like, go learn it. Like, it's just collecting dust, and I paid good money for that." And I was like, "But Dad," he was like, "No, no, 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 no." He's like, "Go learn it." And he's like, "If you don't learn it," he's like, "you won't be grounded." I was like, "Really?" I was like, "Over a piano?" But all right, fine, whatever. So I went, I dusted it off, and I started playing. And I was like, "Bro, I don't even know what I'm doing." I was like, just playing it. And on the piano, there's like a beginner thing. Like it showed you like the keys, what to play, how to play a certain song. And the first song I ever learned, do not judge, it was Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. And
Hey, we all gotta start somewhere.
we all have to start somewhere.
Shout out Alpha.
So I played it, and I was like, "Oh, this is fun." And so I showed my dad, and he was so happy. He was like, "Oh, I'm so proud of you." He's like, "Here's $1." I was like, "I got $1 for learning Twinkle Twinkle Little Star? That's crazy." I was like, "All right, I'm gonna learn more." And so I made like $5 that day. 'Cause I learned like 5 different songs.
Gucci was rich.
I know, I was rich back then, but all that money went away with McDonald's. but yeah, so I just from there I learned some songs on the piano, and then one of the first songs I ever like played off of ear was a song by uh Jesus Adrian Romero, which was what's it called? Tu estás aquí?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I know
So
that song.
yeah, it's a oldie but a goodie.
Yeah.
So I had listened to that song, and yeah, I just listened to it, and then I went through all the keys trying to find it, and I ended up playing it. And I showed my dad, and he's like, "How did you learn it?" And I was like, "I just listened." And he was like, "What?" And I was like, "Yeah, I just heard it and I played it." And then he was like, "Wow." And I think that was one of the first moments, because after I had finished learning that song, I felt like at the time I didn't know what it was. Now I know it was the Holy Spirit, and it was God slowly, leading me up. And I was like, I don't know what to feel, but I felt like a peace, like a calmness after I played that song. I didn't sing it, I just played it, and I was like, wow. And so, well, yeah, I learned that. And then well, back then I was we were going to a Baptist church, and we left for a while, and we started going to Catholic church. And so I went to a Catholic church for a while, and I always wanted to like not go. Like my mom would force me, and I was like, "No, Mom, I don't want to go. I don't want to go." Like, bro, like I don't know. I always felt weird at the Catholic church, but I was like, because I didn't know anybody, and it was like sometimes, I'm not gonna lie, I fell asleep, and my mom would smack me upside the head, "Wake up!" I was like, but they're like, it's not interesting to me. But one day, we woke up late for church, like super late. And then like we were trying like so hard to make it and we ended up not making it. And then like so my parents were like, "Where are we gonna go? Like all the churches, they're like already pretty much finished. Like we ain't gonna go to church today." And like I had remembered we used to go to the old Baptist church called Camino Real in Denison. And I was like, "Hey, why don't we go to that one church that we used to go to?" And they're like, "Which one?" I was like, "The one like I don't know when I was like 5 or 4." Like I was like, it had a trampoline. That's all I remember. I was like,
Bruh.
it had a trampoline in the back, and they're like, "You mean in Camino Real?" I was like, "I think." I was like,
You're like, is that the one with the trampoline?
"Is that the one with the trampoline?" I was like, if that's it, that's it." And they're like, "Yeah, we can try it." Or like, I think the service starts, like it'll start in a couple of minutes. I was like, "Well, let's go there."
Yeah.
And well, we pulled up and we went in there and they like we got there right on time. And well, when we walked in, I heard music and I was like, I was used to seeing like, how do I say this respectfully? Old people playing music. I never saw young people play music. And so when I went in there, like I heard music and I was like, "Oh, they got like old school band, like nah." But I walked in and I saw all these young faces, and I was like, "Whoa!" I was like, that like caught me by surprise. I was like, "Whoa!" I was like, these people are young. I was like, "Dang, I've never seen that before." I was like, "Man, that's really cool." And like we like they played like 5 songs, and like I was just like mesmerized. I was like, "Wow!" I was like, "That's really cool." I was like, "Man, I would like love to like play up there." And I remember I told my dad, I was like, "Dad," I was like, "Look, they're all young," and he was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Dad," I was like, I wanna play," and he's like, "We just got here today," and I was like, "I know, but like, I was like, but like, they seem so cool." I was like, "They're so
Bruh.
young," and like I know a little bit. I was like, I could probably do something. And
Aw.
he's like, "But that means we have to start coming here." I was like, "Well, why don't we come here?" I was like, "Look, I can be up there." I was like, "I won't fall asleep anymore." I was like, "Well, like I'll be more entertained here." And he was just like, "You really?" I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Man, I'd do anything to get up there." And he was just
Aw.
like, "Okay." He's like, "Well," he's like, "Let's finish it out." And he's like, "When the service is done, we'll go talk to the pastor." And I was like, "Okay." So
How old were you?
by that time, I would say I was about 12.
Oh,
I
okay.
think 12. Uh, 12 or 13. I don't remember. And I was just starting percussion in Dillingham.
Mm.
Yeah. And, but anyways, so like service finished and like we go up there and the pastor was like, "I'm more than happy for you to go up there, but you got to talk to the worship team." So I was like, "Dad, let's go talk to them. They're so cool." I was like, "Let's go." And so we went up there and like I met them and my dad was like, "Yeah, my son really wants to join y'all." And they were like, "Oh, okay." They're like, "Well, we don't really have a spot right now, but like I was like, I'll play anything. Like, put me on anything. Like, if you just want me to stand there, I'll stand there." I was like, I just want to be up there. And they were like, "Well," they're like, "You can play the bongos." And I was like, "Sign me up." I was
Say
like, "Say less.
less.
I will play the heck out of those bongos." So yeah, they're like, "All right, well, we have our practices on Fridays, and yeah, just pull up and we'll start there." I was so happy.
Aw.
Man, I was like, "Dad, you gotta buy me a bongo." I was like, "I gotta practice," and he was just like, he's like, "Calmate." He's like, "You're gonna get a bongo over there." I was like, "Okay, we're fine." So yeah, and then well, I pulled the first practice, and well, yeah, I played bongos for like I think a month or two, and then well, one day we were at practice, and our lead singer she got frustrated. I forgot about something. She was like, "We need a bass player." And then she looked at me and she was like, "Gucci?" She's like, "You're playing bass." And I was like, "Say what?" She's like, "Yeah, you're playing bass. You're learning bass." I was like,
You're like, no way.
I
What?
I don't
I
even
don't.
what is a bass? I was like, I don't even know what a bass is. she's like, you're gonna learn how to play bass because we need a bass player. Like, she's like, we need it, and I was like, okay. And so I was like, I don't even know how to play bass, and well, there was a bass, and she was like, yeah, the Geo, shout out Geo.
Oh, shout out Gio. Did you know
Yeah,
that I know him?
huh?
Did you know that I know him
I did
and his
not know
wife?
that. I did
Known them
not.
for a long time and their kids.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, shout out Geo. Geo was the one that
Hey.
taught me bass.
Aw.
And so yeah, she was like, Gio's gonna teach you bass. And I was like, okay. So Gio taught me a couple chords or a couple notes on the bass, and yeah, then from there I kind of started playing bass a little bit. And fast forward, there was an event going on called Congreso 2014, I think, or 15, I don't remember. But there was that event, and basically they were choosing like, I don't remember, like four bands in Texas, something like that, and to play at this event. And I was like, that sounds really cool. Like, I wish I could play, but I was like, I've only been here like 2 months or 3 months. And at the time, there was another band. It was with Ricky, Puff, and then the worship team from our church. It was all them together. And the name of it, I don't even remember. What was it? Elev. I can't remember.
Elevate or so?
Elev-
No.
Elevate Rush something. I don't remember the name, but
All I know
shout
is
out that group.
all I know is that I actually watched because y'all had some of them recorded,
Yeah,
and I actually watched some of them.
yeah,
When I met Ricky,
yeah. So, anyways,
you guys were so little.
yeah, no,
So little.
and I don't even recognize myself. But well, anyways, so they were gonna sign up for it, or they were signing up for it, and they made it, like they got chose. The only thing was Puff, shout out Puff, he was supposed to play the bass, but he couldn't play the bass because he was too young.
Aww.
And I
For
happened
for
the event.
event.
Yeah, so they wouldn't allow him to play. And I happened to be by 1 month older than him.
Bruh.
And so they were like, well, Gucci can play bass. And I was like, say what now? I was like, I barely know like four notes. And they're like, we'll teach you. Don't worry, don't worry. So, we did the recording, we sent it off, and they're like, congratulations, you're going to play at Congreso.
Ooh.
And I remember
go.
I went home, I was like, Dad, I'm going to play at an event. He was like, what event? I was like, Congreso. He's like, what's that? I was like, I don't even know, but I gotta go play in it. And it's all the way in Waco, Texas. And I was like, he was just like, wow, okay. He was like, but we didn't know how big it was at the time. So
What was it for? Do you remember? Like what it was Congreso was for?
so it was like
That event?
It was basically a gathering of like a bunch of churches. I don't remember too much what it was, but I just know it was like all of North Texas, like just a bunch of Baptist church getting together and just worshiping. That's what I remember. I do know Tadashi was there,
What?
which I didn't know at the time. Yeah, he was there. That's also the first time I ever heard Lecrae. The first song ever I heard was it's called "Dumb," which is like my favorite song. But yeah, it was the first time I heard him. But anyways, so like we fast forward to that day. We're there at the event at the Baylor Stadium, and I was like, "This is huge!" Like in my head, I was like, "It's gonna be a couple people, like 100, 200." Nah, they were like, "No, this place is supposed to get to like up to like 4,000 people." And I was like freaking out. I was like, what? I was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. I was like, I've never played before in front of that many people. Like, I played at my church, and which at the time was like maybe 30, 50
You're like,
people.
I didn't know I was signing up for this.
I was like, I did not sign up for this. I was like, I did not expect we were to play in front of all these people. But we were there, and it was go time. So
Ain't no
like,
turning back. It's too
no
late.
turning back. So, but we get on stage and we play our songs, and somewhere in the midst of us playing the songs, I was just like, I think that's the first time I like really like, you know, discovered like who Jesus was and like what he could do for me. Cause I was like, man, I was like, I cannot believe like this 13, 14-year-old kid who barely knows bass, has been playing it for like 2 months, is over here in Waco, Texas, playing in front of 4,000 people. I was like, who am I to like be here? Like, there's so many other people that could have been here, but God was like, I want you there.
That's crazy that y'all got selected out of like how many different how many different
I don't
groups?
even know. There was a bunch of groups
That's
signing up apparently.
crazy.
But I was like, and they were only choosing like four. I was like, that's crazy. And we got chosen. And that was the first time I realized like what God can do. Like he has the power, and he controls everything. Like if he wants you somewhere, he'll put you there. Like he has a reason for everything. And well, after that, I fell even more deeper in love with music, and I had a better appreciation for music because I was like, at first, I could use these talents that God had given me, but I didn't know what to do with it, like what to use it for. And after that event, I understood. I was like, this is God has given me these talents to worship Him and not for the world. And so that's when I fell more deep in love. Um, and then, well, the singing part.
Yeah, because you do sing too. You have a
I do
really
sing
nice
too. I
voice.
thank you.
I was surprised, like, cause you have I don't know why, but like you have a face where I didn't look at you and be like, oh, like I know he can sing, you know? And so like when you sang, when we were practicing, when we were gonna play together, I was like, what? I was like, he can sing? I
Yeah.
was like, that's crazy. Like you have a really good voice. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank
Go,
you.
go.
You're embarrassing me. No, no, no.
No.
But thank you. But the singing, I never really sang like in public, like in front of people. I only sing at home, mostly in the shower, because you get the best vocals
Isn't that
there.
everyone? Like, don't we all
Yeah,
sing in the
everybody
shower?
sings in the
And like, we
shower.
sound like in the shower.
I
Like,
know, but as soon as you
perfect.
step out, it's like, whoa, that's not me. What the heck? But yeah, anyways, so I remember we had a event at the Grayson Baptist Association at the lake, and we had like a campfire, and I just remember we were singing what's the song called by I'm terrible with names of the songs, but anyways, we were singing, and I was singing. I was in like the moment, like man, I was like, man, the song is hitting me, and I was singing, and then like it got quiet, and I was still singing, and then like I opened my eyes, and I remember like my worship leader, she looked at me, she was like, "You can sing?" I was like, yeah." She's like, "Gucci, how could you not tell me that you knew how to sing?" And I was like, "I'm sorry." I was like, "You've never really asked, and I don't really sing in public." She's like, "No, She's like, "Okay, you are singing." She's like, "At least one song." And I was like, I was like, "I don't want to sing in front of people." I was like, "I barely play bass in front of people." And then she was
Aw.
like, "No, no, no, you're singing." And I was like, "Oh crap!" I was like, I was like, "I don't know what to do." I was like, "Okay." She's like, "You gotta at least sing one song every Sunday, or if not every other Sunday."
Aw.
I was like, okay. And like this, like fast forward, like I'm going into high school, like it's my freshman year, and I was like, well, I don't know how to sing. I was like, she says I'm good, but what if other people think I'm not good? So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna join choir, and I was like, maybe choir will help me like become better at singing, and so that's what I did, and well, I did learn a lot of things in choir, and one of them was you have to find your voice. They
Mhm.
don't like. I thought in my head I was like, they're gonna teach me to sing better, and
Mhm.
they did. But I was like, in my head, I was like, I'm gonna sing like Elvis Presley, but they're like, nah, each voice is unique. Like you
Mm,
have everybody has a unique voice. You just have to find your sweet spot, so to say.
yeah,
And I was like,
I see that.
yeah. And then so like, and also like I had talked to my dad because I was super nervous about it. And he was like, you need a, I wanted to sound like somebody else, but he was like, no, you have to sound like yourself because that's what God gave you. And that's,
Mm.
God gave you a voice for a reason. So you don't need to mess with what God's already giving you.
Oh, yeah.
And so, well, then from there, I just kind of slowly started singing. And then, I just fell more in love with music.
That's awesome.
But yeah.
That's
And then
crazy because now you made a song. You
I
released a
have.
song. That's crazy.
Yep.
What inspired you to release a song?
A lot of things. Well, I've always wanted to make a song, but I should never really truly sat down and was like, okay, I'm gonna take the time to actually make the song.
Yeah.
Um, Another thing was, I felt like back then when I was trying to make songs, I felt like I wasn't doing it for the right reasons.
Mm-hmm.
This song was really inspired by the Holy Spirit because it was just me like jotting down thoughts, like what came to my head, like because I prayed. I remember like it was I had one of those nights where you couldn't sleep
Mm-hmm.
and like you just tossing and turning. You're like,
Mm.
man, why can't I sleep? Like I don't know what's going on. And I was always told like whenever you can't sleep, like just pray, like pray because maybe you have something on your mind that you need to talk to God about.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was like 11:30 at night, and I was like, all right. I got down on my knees and I just started praying. But it was more like I was, you know, it was more like I was having a conversation with God. I was like, God, like, what's going on? Like, why can't I sleep? And I just started going through all the thoughts in my head. And I don't know how, but like music just popped in my head. And I was just like, God, I was like, I've always wanted to make a song for you. Like, I want to glorify you and like tell the world like what who you are and what you've done and what you can do. And I was just like, but I've never been able to. But it's probably because back then when I wanted to make a song, like it was for the wrong reasons. And when I say wrong reasons, it was more like I wanted the attention. Like, yeah, I made a song. Like,
Mm.
I
Yeah.
wanted it to be about me, but
Mm.
it's not supposed to be like that.
Mm.
It's supposed to be you glorifying God and giving Him all the glory and all the honor. And like now, well, I have not wise, but I'm a little wiser every day. I now realize there's the bigger picture. Like
Yeah.
it's not about me; it's about God. And so like, I just prayed. I was like, God, like I want to make this song. Like this is gonna happen, and I just want you to like let it be you. Like let it be you who influences me. Let the song be about you. Um, and so the next day, I was like, okay, I got my pencil, my paper. I sat in my room. I told everybody in my house. I was like, everybody be quiet. I was like, I'm about to make fire.
About to cook.
About to
Let me
cook.
cook.
Well, let me tell you, the first day, nothing happened. I just sat in my room listening to Worship Pad, just sitting there in my chair. I was
Uh,
like, what the heck? Like, I just wrote down, like, I think the first word I wrote down, like, Jesus, that's it. I was like, hopefully something will come off of that. Nope, nothing happened. Um, and well, it was like that for like the first week. And then, like, I just like, I prayed. I was like, God, I was like, just like, inspire me, give me something. And then little by little, I just started like jotting down thoughts in my head, writing it down. And like, at first, I didn't know what the heck I was writing. I was just writing down things in my head. And finally, like, when I would say I was like maybe 20% into the song, I was like, I looked at it and I was like, whoa. I was like, this is like stuff about me. I was like, this is like stuff I've been through. Like, or like where I was in my at one point in my life. And that's when I kind of like clicked, and I was like, I think what God is wanting me to do is like write about like where I've been in my life, like moments where I felt low, moments where I had no hope, and but he pulled me out of it.
Mm.
And so I just from there I just started writing, and like I have never made a song, so I wouldn't know what, like, this is the first song I've ever made. I wouldn't know what the process is or what the feeling's like. But when I wrote this song, the best way I could describe it, like it felt so natural.
Mm.
Like I felt like I didn't really have to like really like try like super hard. Like on the music part, I had to try, but when it came to the lyrics, like it just it came out so naturally.
Mm.
And so when I finished it, I was like I was shocked because I was like I did not know I had this in me. I was like, wow. I was
Yeah.
like this is I was like this is new for me.
Yeah.
And so and well, I made the song and I played it the first time, and I played it, and the first time I played like the full song by myself, like I broke down because I was like, man, this it's just bringing me back to like back to the days where like, man, I there was moments in my life where I'm like, wow, like I can't believe I was at a low in my life.
Mm.
Um, I won't go too into detail about it, but you know, towards I was going to church, and but like I was going to church just to be there. Like it got to a point where over the years, like when I first started, there was like that passion. Like I was like, man, I'm doing it for like Jesus, and like because I love him, and like and I was doing it. I had this like fire in me, which
Mm.
is the best way to describe it. And like over the years, it kind of like it started fading out,
Mm.
and I was like towards the very end, it was like it just became more like of a routine. Like I was just there because I had to be there, and I kind of had lost that like that fire. And so when I played the song by myself the first time, I felt like I like that fire just like relit,
Mm.
and it was such a beautiful thing because like I hadn't felt that in such a long time.
Yeah.
And you know, because I was like, wow, I was like, this feeling is like the whole reason why, like, I when I started, I was so driven, and I was
Mm.
like, man, I want more of this.
Aw.
And so I was so happy when I finished the song, and then you know I played it for my parents, and they loved it, and I showed my sister, and when I finished the song, she was like, this song is like just Jesus. And I was like, that's a good name. And so that's how I chose the title for the song.
Ayy.
Um, but yeah, like this song is yeah, basically it was just talking about kind of like points in my life like where I was like really low. I felt like no passion, and like there were times where I probably like I've only a few people know, but like there were times where I had like really dark thoughts, and I felt like nobody was there for me. Like I felt like I was just by myself.
Mm.
Um,
I feel like that's like something really good to like write a song about because it's something that a lot of people go through, but then they like not a lot of people. Well, I guess like now more people talk about it. Like it's brought up more often now than it used to like back then.
yeah,
But I feel like it's something that a lot of people go through, if not everyone. Like they go through a season of it, you
yeah.
know. And so like that's such a great like topic to write a song on because like
Not a lot of people are comfortable talking about it because, especially
and then
like
even if you haven't hit that season, like there might be somewhere in your future where you do hit that season.
exactly,
Whether it's because like you lost someone in your family
yeah,
or a tragic incident happens or like we never know why.
yeah,
But like even if you haven't gone through that season yet, like you can in the future. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, like because especially like as a as a Christian, like you're supposed to be happy,
Yes.
and it was like it's really it's not, well, at least for like, it's not comfortable. It's not easy like going up to like, hey, I'm feeling like depressed,
Mm.
and because you know you're supposed to be like happy, and you're supposed to have like this full of like inspiration. You're just supposed to like Christians, you were supposed to be like uplifting, happy all the time. But the true case is like, as a Christian, I feel like we face more things than when we weren't Christian,
Well, for
or when
sure.
we weren't following
For
Christ.
sure.
Because we have more things going on now that we like have this knowledge of
Yeah.
like, you know now it's gonna be tougher. But like, those are things like that nobody really likes to talk about. But yeah, like you said, it's like really important to talk about, because you need to know like it's not all sunshine and rainbows.
Yeah.
It's You're gonna have downs, you're gonna have lows in
For
your life.
sure.
But the important thing is to remember that there is somebody there
Mm.
that loves you and cares for you, even when the enemy's telling you in your ear like it's not worth it, or you're worthless, or you
Yeah.
don't need this. Like, it's not true. It's just the enemy lying to you,
Mm.
because God has purpose for each and every person.
Mm.
And some people find it sooner than others.
Yeah.
And I definitely I I thought I had found it, and then it kind of went downhill.
Yeah.
And then thankfully, God reached out again, and you it was like that hand on your shoulder saying it's gonna be okay.
Mm.
Like,
Yeah.
and I'm so happy that like he pulled me out of that, and now I get to sit here today, and now I have this song, and I'm so happy with this song because ever since I released it, I've had like a couple people tell me like, man, your song, like I listened to it, and like I haven't been to church in a while, but your song really makes me like want to go back and
Mm.
talk to God again, because I haven't had that relationship in a while. And
Mm.
that's, to me, that's a blessing, because that's all this song, I made it so people who felt lost, who felt like there's nothing, like felt hopeless,
Mm.
this song is, I hoped for them to find God again, to find
Mm.
that, to reconnect with God.
Yeah.
Because I don't, nobody should ever feel like it's hopeless, like there's no reason to be here anymore.
Mm.
Like, there's always a reason. And you just have to trust God in the process, and say, God, I give you my life. I give you everything. Just take control. I
Mm.
trust you 100%. Do with me what you want, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. That's so good.
Yeah,
That's
and
so good.
yeah, it's just this, yeah, like the song really hit me.
I really enjoyed it when I listened to it. Like, and I know Ricky had used this word too, but to me, it just sounded like a very genuine song. Like, it sounded like a song that like came from someone's heart, and like, you could just tell that there was just so much like sincerity in it, you know. And to me, like, I like songs like that. I consider myself to be a pretty genuine person, and I connect with like genuineness, and so like I really enjoyed that about your song. And I thought like it was just a good reminder, like even if you feel like you're in a good like relationship with the Lord, or you're not necessarily going through anything, like it's still a song that like you can play and it'll bring you back to memories you have with the Lord, and be like a good reminder of like who he has been in your life, and like the continuous hope that we have in him, and that things one day will be better.
Yeah.
So to me, like that's what I enjoyed from it.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, that, thank you.
You're
but
welcome.
but yeah, this song I'm really proud of, and I people always people are obviously telling me, wow, congratulations, like your song, man, it's amazing. Yeah, but I just like, don't thank me. I was like, thank the man upstairs, because he's the one that inspired it. And
Yeah.
like that's what I really wanted. Like, I told God, I was like, God, like, let it not be about me. Like, just use me as a vessel, like as it should be,
Mm-hmm.
because
Mm-hmm.
I can't take credit for this,
Yeah.
because obviously God is the one who gave me these talents, and I'm just wanting to use them.
Yeah.
And hopefully, like, like I said, this is not my first and last song. Like, I definitely got more, Uh,
Hey, ooh, stay
stay
tuned.
tuned.
He said they're gonna be
There's gonna be
more
more because
Gucci gospel. Wait, is it?
Gucci Gospel. It
Yeah,
is
let's go. I
Gucci
got it right.
Gospel.
Gucci
Yep.
gospel.
But yeah, I gotta make more. But but it's a process. Like
Yeah.
it's not as easy. But I kind of get inspiration from like shout out Dapper Soul
Ooh,
because
Dapper Soul.
Dapper Soul will be making these fire songs, and I'm like,
Hey.
if they can do it, why can't I do it? Like,
Amen.
and if it's for the Lord, that's even more of a reason to do it.
Amen.
So, yeah, I will say, the next song that I drop, I'm trying to get it a little closer to a little more biblical. I want to base it off of Romans, uh, but it's a process. I want to get it a little more upbeat. But
Okay.
yeah, so
Okay.
yeah, stay tuned for that one.
Oh my gosh, I'm excited.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm excited
excited.
too. Also, Just Jesus, I also plan on dropping it pretty soon, a Spanish version,
Okay.
because I know a lot of people who've texted me, especially family, and they're like, "Man, I love the song. What does it say?" I'm like,
Aww.
"Oh my gosh." I'm like, "Okay." I was like, I already had to translate it to my grandma, and I was like, that was kind of
Aw.
rough, and I was like, "Okay,
Yeah.
I definitely gotta make it a Spanish version
Yeah.
because I mean I did not realize how many like Hispanic people I knew." So,
Mm-hmm.
and then my parents are all like out here telling everybody about my song, and they're like,
Aw.
everybody's saying, "What does it say?" And I'm like, I gotta make the Spanish version. I get it.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
so
yeah.
yeah, I gotta.
Well, that'll be a blessing to a
It
lot
will
of
be.
people.
Yeah, because
Now it's not just gonna be in one language; it'll be in two,
yeah,
so it'll be able to reach
exactly.
more people.
So, and I hope it does the same way in Spanish because
Yes.
I don't want to just be defined like I can only sing English. I want to be able to do both
Yeah.
because I feel like it's super important to be able to reach out to
If you ever did a live, it'd be cool to like do like a mix of like Spanish and English once you
that.
release it.
That would be
That'd
fire.
be
I would
cool.
love to do a live version.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, like
Just
a upbeat version because this song is it is kind of in like
it's a worship prayer
it's a
song
worship.
to
It's
me. Like what
yeah,
I
but like
yeah.
definitely if I were to ever do like a live version, I would love to like give it a little more
Yeah. Oomph.
energy.
A little more oomph.
Yeah, more oomph. But yeah, this song, yeah, it's made for me. It's made to be a worship like song. It's made
Yeah.
to like it's made to reconnect with the Lord. That's the best way I
That's
can
good.
describe it.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. So you gave us a little teaser. You kind of,
Yeah,
leaked
little teaser,
a little something to come.
little
I'm excited
something.
about that.
So
It's fun to like watch people about you grow. I mean, we were able to like kind of see that with like Bryson and Dapper Soul.
yeah,
And like now to be able to see you kind of walk into that is really exciting as friends because we kind of get to like watch someone grow in like a unique way. And I love music, and I feel like for me, like worship to the Lord has always been like the best connection I can get with Him. And even if it is like my own, I mean, my own words, my own worship from my own mouth and my own heart, like all that's worship to God. And so, like, um, you know, I always connect with that easily.
yeah,
And so it's easy for me to turn on a worship song and connect to it. And so I just like that your song is the song that the Lord led you to make, is that song that you're able to just like easily just be like, who has the Lord been in my life? What will He do with my life? Like, and you can just like worship to that.
yeah,
I really enjoy that. Yeah.
yeah. Because I feel the same way. Like I feel like the the closest I can like communicate with God is like through worship, and it's just something about
And
it.
like I feel like whether like it doesn't matter like if you're a believer or not, like we are all connected to music, and it's because we were made to worship. Like we were made with this talent of being able to make a sound from inside of us to come out,
Yeah.
whether you think it's pretty or not, like you can sing, like you have that ability.
Yeah.
And like we're all drawn to music, we're all drawn to different types of genres of music, different types of classifications of music, like, and so I feel like when we use those gifts and we merge that with what we believe in and we merge that into like worshiping God, like it just is something that's even more beautiful, because it's like, wow, like you're bringing that gift alive. You're bringing it to the one who like gave you life, who gave you that talent. And it's just like, I feel like it's super beautiful. So it's super fun to like be able to watch our friend, in this case you, like grow into that calling and like grow into that just this time of your life that's, going to be about worship and about making songs that the Lord puts on your heart. That's what David did. And I mean, that is still impactful to today,
It is. It
all the
is.
Psalms that he's written. And all of it is just very, very close to our hearts as believers because it gives us an example of someone who worshiped the Lord,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, it's worship is it's just powerful, man. Especially like when you know that it's coming from God and when he's giving you that talent to use, it's just more impactful. I
Yeah.
feel like especially if it's coming from him.
Yeah.
More importantly, if when it's coming from him, it's the best.
Yes.
Because if it's not like what's the word? If it's not about him, it's like it's almost like there's no meaning, because I got lost in words, but basically the best worship is when you're praising God and when it's about him and only him.
Yeah,
So,
for sure.
but
For
yeah,
sure.
so yeah, I'm excited for this new journey that he's taking me.
Yeah.
I would have never thought I would have a song. You would if you would have asked me like 2 years ago, like you ever think you're gonna make a song? I probably would have been like,
You like a song?
yeah, nah,
Not really.
nah. But you know,
Yeah.
I'm so happy that I finally do have a song, and it's about, and I'm happy, and I don't want to lose this. I want to continue on and worshiping Him, and I'm just putting it in God's hands, and I
Yeah.
want to let it be about Him, and just you know, it. I want it to all come out naturally, like through Him, and I want it to be about Him and biblically inspired through Him. All of my future songs, and
Well, that's awesome because other people are gonna be able to tell that it comes from a genuine place and that like it's a genuine like worship to the Lord. And I feel like that's extra special when someone has put time to like search the Lord and been like, what do you want me to write about? What biblical perspective do you want this song to have?
yeah,
Like that makes it more special because you know that the artist like put time and dedication to like searching like what does the Lord want me to say through this song? So I think that's really
yeah,
special.
yeah, and also like because I also like with the song it was like about like a little bit about testimony stuff. Like I also want to be sure like in the future because I want to be able to because we're all human, we all go through things, and I want to be able to maybe in other songs just talk about those things, like things that we're not maybe as comfortable as like what we were talking about as comfortable saying out loud, because
Yeah.
to let people know that it's okay, like it's okay to talk about these things, like
Yeah.
you should be able to have that like open space with God and just pour out what you're feeling.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Well, if you haven't listened to Just Jesus, go listen to it by Gucci Gospel. Now you know a little bit about him. You know why he wrote it. You know how he wrote it. You know the message behind it. And I feel like that's encouraging. So I hope that it encourages you, and that you find it powerful and maybe inspiring if you have a similar like idea or thought, or maybe you've been walking through something that like he described. I hope that the song is like helpful to you, and I know that that's Gucci's desire.
Yeah.
That's all that he wants out of it is just for people to be able to connect with it, could reconnect with the Lord, and just be reminded of who he is
Yeah. And
at the
for
end of the
all
day.
you who are in that process of like, should I do it or should I not do it? Just do it. Pray about it and just let God take control and let him do the rest and just he'll guide you through.
Yeah.
So
Amen. Well, thank you guys so much. Thank you, Gucci. I honestly enjoyed listening to you today and your perspective on like just Jesus. When you had showed us a song, I wanted to ask you, and then I was like, no, that'd be great to like listen like when he talks. Like, so I really enjoyed today me listening to you because obviously like I didn't know like the depths of any of it.
yeah.
And so I'm super grateful I got to listen to you today.
Well,
And I got
thank
to,
you for having me.
yeah, of course, of course. Well, thank you guys for listening because this is all for you guys. So thank you guys for listening. If you haven't listened to Just Jesus, go listen to it. Also, if you like for whatever reason like, you know, need your AC like checked or like heat, like
Shout out to Gus
hey,
and Gus.
he has
HVAC.
his own AC and heating company. Let's go. Well, him and his dad, they work together, doing AC and heating. So like, if you need
Yeah,
if you need
if you
anything
need
ever, just like DM him or something and
yeah.
he'll like help you out.
Yep. Look, yeah, just call us up and we work all at Grayson. So just hit me up.
Hey, let's go. All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining today. We'll see you next Thursday. Stay tuned because I have something a little special for y'all.